Good morning. My name is Ted Clouser, host of Win the Minute, Win the Day, the show that focuses on bringing hope to the chaos. Today, I have Desmond Clark as my guest. It may come as a surprise to you that Desmond was not predisposed to be successful in either football or business. Now, please keep in mind that he had a stellar 12-year career in the NFL, including 6 catches in Super Bowl 41 as the leading receiver for the Chicago Bears, and that he has become an insurance executive and an accomplished financial advisor. Desmond believes that this was all specifically because he was not naturally inclined toward either, and that he's been able to add value to those that have chosen him as their keynote speaker and or coach. He believes that the habits of success in both our personal and professional lives are the same as those in sports. Goals need to be underpinned by plans. Plans need to be underpinned by execution, and execution needs to be underpinned by a thoughtful, attentive mindset and focus on your personal vision. It's more complicated than that, as you know, but he's also found that, well, it isn't. His mission at this point in life is to share what he is continually learning, grow meaningful relationships, and add value to everyone he meets. We also have in common that one of his favorite hashtags is win the day. So welcome to the show, Desmond. It's an honor to have you.
Man, it's an honor to be on the show. I appreciate you giving me this opportunity to be on your platform.
Sorry, I didn't hear. I had my headphones back in, so I got you now.
Okay, no, I was saying, man, I appreciate you giving me this opportunity to be on your platform. So it's a great privilege for me.
Absolutely. Well, let's just jump right in. What's your personal approach to waking up with a go win the day attitude?
Well, I believe, and I just posted about this, I believe that if you wake up every day with some type of game plan, not some type of game plan, a specific game plan where you wake up and know what you want your day to look like and know what you want to execute, then if you attack the day like that, you'll more often than not win the day. And by winning the days, that's how you win in life. You're not going to win every day. Everything is not going to go as planned, but waking up knowing what you want that day to look like and knowing the important things that you got to execute that day is going to put you in a position where you get to your goals faster and achieve more of those goals than not.
I love it. Well, you obviously had a stellar career in the NFL. I just want to start by talking about that. So you led your team in receptions in the greatest stage in the NFL, but your team lost. Can you share that experience overall and how it impacted who you are today?
Yeah, so looking back on it now, we're about 15, 16 years from that date. So I could talk about it and I could smile about it. But I know when we lost the Super Bowl, I wasn't smiling about it. I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want to wear the NFC Championship ring because I was still in the midst of it. So the ultimate goal was not to get to the Super Bowl. The ultimate goal was to win the Super Bowl. But now 15 years removed, I could look back at that experience and I could be proud of it. I could say I did go to a Super Bowl. We did achieve a lot that season. And it's an accomplishment that I hold up real high in my life and that I'm very proud of. I mean, how many people can actually say that I played in the Super Bowl? And I've been.
Well, that's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, much of your message today focuses on winning, all the way down to the moment. I love how you talk about the moments that matter. So what's a memorable story you can share of when you had to personally live out winning the day?
Yeah, man, it's almost every day, but let me think for a second on a personal story. And this is something that we all go through, right? And I know you have the win the minute, win the day. And that's something that I believe in also, because every single day, for myself, for you, for everybody else, we hit those minutes, we hit those critical moments of the day where we have to decide, hey, am I going to go and go forward and continue on the path, or am I going to let something distract me, deter me? And you may be your own distraction. And it's within those minutes of the day that really determines if we're going to win the day or not. And I just been brutally honest with everybody. I know people look at people like myself and like you and say, man, those people got it all together. But I have to fight against the distractions of social media. I want to pick up that phone call because my friend is calling and I know I haven't talked to him in a long time. It'd be nice to have that moment. And when things get tough, when we have that obstacle, that problem in the way, and we're pressing, it's easy to retreat to those momentary things that make us feel good. And those are the things that I have to fight every day. And I know those are the things that everybody out there has to fight every day also to continue to move down that road. So it's not a specific example, but it's an everyday example of just, fighting off the distractions and making sure that within those critical minutes when we have to make those decisions, that we're making the proper decisions to keep ourselves moving forward.
Well, and it actually leads right into my next question, because you talk a lot about eliminating distractions to be the best of the best. But I mean, isn't that easier said than done?
Heck no, you said it done. But the people who are able to execute on that, those are the people who are more than likely to be the best of the best. Like, I'll just use a football terminology. Obviously, people understand that I played football, and that was most of my life from the age of 6 to the age of 34. And what I recognize about being the best of the best is that, man, you're so focused on building skill, executing the next play, executing the next task. And when you are able to be in that zone and eliminate outside noise and just practice, execute, review, come back now, since you review, now practice, execute, review, and take advantage of the mistakes that you made the day before and make those mistakes something that you don't do anymore. That's how you become the best of the best. And I think that's the formula for success. And it's very simple. Hey, study, practice, execute, review, and then just go back through that same loop on a daily basis.
Well, you heard it here first from Desmond Clark, how to be successful at eliminating those distractions, which we know we all face today. One of the joys of being live is that we can take questions. So for those watching, I know Desmond would love to field any questions you have. But Des, tell us a little bit about Motivational Monday and the story behind that.
Yeah, so Motivational Monday came about. It's the first day of the week, and I working in corporate America. One of the things that I noticed is that people don't necessarily like to go to work. Monday is that first day of the week, and there's no need to grumble about something that you have the opportunity to do. And I use that term, that word, very specifically, the opportunity, because you don't have to go to work. You get the opportunity to go to work. So if we just shift that focus, shift that mindset, and look at it as something that, hey, this is benefiting us for what we have the opportunity to do. And we should look at it in a way that we get up and we attack it every day. So Motivated Monday is, hey, this is how we can get a jump start on this week in a very positive, encouraging way. Because if we have to do it anyway, we might as well be positive about it. We might as well be encouraged about it. And we might as well have the right mindset about having the opportunity to go to work so we can provide for ourselves and our families.
Mm-hmm. Well, I do think it's important to focus on that. Love your message and love that mission behind it. That makes me think a little bit about your football career. And I would love to know, what is one moment that really stands out to you in that career?
Oh man, it's a lot. I think the biggest moment, the only moment that took my breath away, right, was when we were down in Miami for Super Bowl 41, and we're getting announced to go out on the field, and they say the NFC champions, the Chicago Bears, and we take that field as a team, as a whole. And I'm playing in my home state of Florida down in Miami, and I know I got my family in the crowd. And then I'm just thinking about, man, this is a boyhood dream, right? All the cameras flashing, and you're in that moment where everyone is watching you around the world. And thinking about that moment, it kind of took my breath away for a few minutes. And I had to go to the sidelines and just remind myself that this is still just a football game. But I think that moment was probably the most special moment that I've had on a football field, just knowing that, hey, the work and just the childhood dream of getting to that level one day, I was actually in that moment.
Hmm. Well, what was the story behind choosing Wake Forest?
Oh man,
Or did they choose you?
it's a well, it was mutual, right?
Okay.
They recruited me, and I ended up going there. It came down between Wake Forest and Virginia Tech, and I
Okay.
tell the story in my book. Two totally different coaches, Frank Beamer and Jim Caldwell, and I
Mhm.
had in a way insinuated to both that I was going to come to their school. The night before I had to commit, I went to my mom and I tried to have my mom make the decision for me, but she wouldn't make it for me. She said, "This is your decision. You know, you have to make that decision on your own." So I had to go back to my room and figure out how I was going to tell the other coach that I wasn't coming to the school. And I had decided that I was going to go to Wake Forest. So I made the call to Coach Frank Beamer first to let him know that I was going to choose Wake Forest. And his reaction, you know, these guys are competitors, and this is nothing against Coach Frank Beamer because I know he was disappointed. But his reaction really led me to believe that I was making the right decision to go to Wake Forest because I truly believe in my heart that if I would have had to call Coach Jim Caldwell and say, "Hey, I'm going to Virginia Tech," Coach Caldwell would have wished me all the best and probably still offered himself if I ever needed him for any particular reason. That wasn't the case with Frank Beamer. So that was confirmation for myself that I made the right choice. But as far as football wise, I ended up going to Wake Forest because I was told point blank I would play receiver for
Mhm.
Virginia Tech. They were recruiting me as an athlete, and that meant that I could play anywhere. I played quarterback in high school, so I could be a quarterback, a receiver, a safety, whatever. And I didn't want to go to a school that didn't know where they wanted to play.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, how
Yeah.
about Wake Forest this year? They're having a great season.
Man, I mean, we're dominant. We're like
Yeah.
tied for number one in the nation. We're 4-0. No one has a better record than us. So,
That's true. That is so true.
yeah. So, man, I'm loving it. They're dominating right now. They dominated Florida State. They just dominated Virginia this past weekend. So we're looking real good right now.
Yeah. Well, when do they play BC?
It doesn't matter. We'll dominate them too.
There you go. I love that win the day attitude.
I think,
Well,
I think they play BC in November, if I recall.
okay. Well, I love it. That's a great attitude. Well, Heath commented and said, "This is a great conversation. Thanks for sharing, Desmond Clark. This is awesome." And I
Hey,
certainly
thank you for tuning in to Ted and his show. I know, Ted, you do good work. So thank you for tuning in, Heath.
Yeah, thank you. Well, so you've had a successful day. Maybe it's not a be at the Super Bowl day, but still a successful day nonetheless. How does Desmond Clark personally end the day for a winning day?
Um, so I do something that I call posting and planning to make sure that I won the day. And you know, you don't win every day, but hey, how many calls did I make? How many reaches? How many appointments did I have? How many appointments kept? Did I have any open cases? Any of that type of stuff I want to monitor on a daily basis so I could measure my metrics. But when I win the day, I don't do anything special. I know I sleep better, but I do measure if I won the day or not. And like I say, we don't win every day. Nobody's going to win every day. But if we can stack up considerably more wins than losses, you're going to put yourself in a great position. So that's what I truly do is I call it posting and planning. And I post all of my numbers for today, and then I plan for tomorrow because as we talked about, knowing what tomorrow looks like when you get up that next morning gives you an advantage on the day.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think it was your Today post where you talked about if you committed to making 10 calls and you only made 8, you're not meeting your goals.
Right. Because 8 wasn't the goal.
That's right.
So if it takes 10 points to win, it takes 10 points to win.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So we got to get to 10 points, and we can't stop at 8, even though it could be, oh, we played a good game. We don't want to play a good game. We want to win the game.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think Heath is challenging you to a national championship game because he said, "Well, Desmond, Arkansas has you tied up 4-0. Woo pig suey."
Oh man, they just they just beat another tough SEC team this week.
They
So
did. They beat
no, they
A&M,
beat Texas A&M. Yeah, so they're looking real good. So hey, listen, Wake Forest will be there, and then we may see you guys in the national championship game after we go through this playoff. They'll probably try to hold us out because we don't have the um, the reputation, but our stats will speak for itself. We will be in the Final Four this year, going for the national championship. Hey, that's a hope, right? I can always keep hoping.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, hey, week at a time, right? Want to know every week. Well, Des, thank you so much. I know you've got a lot going on this month, and it's really an honor that you took time out to be with us today. And I'm just so grateful for all the wisdom that you've shared.
Absolutely. And like I said, I appreciate you having me on, Ted. And yeah, I tune in every now and again to catch glimpses. But now that I've been on, I got to tune in a little bit more and hopefully bring some other people over to the platform.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. And on that note, go win the day.
Absolutely. All right. Appreciate it, Ted. You too.